Right now on the National Weather Desk, powerful tornadoes tear through the south.
I thought it was an explosion, and then my mama told me to get down.
While snow continues to fall up north.
You really got to be careful out here.
We have team coverage showing you where the storm has been and where it's going next.
We've been seeing some of that glazed frost throughout the area here on trees and grassy areas.
High drama in Utah where a skier was buried in an avalanche.
Put them in a bag and started dragging them, started lowering them with some ropes.
Using new technology to identify tornadoes.
These are the things that have come along through the years that really help us improve the climatology that's out there.
And our team of nationwide meteorologists helps you better understand how the weather works.
Heat escapes from the ground back out into space, helping to cool the surface temperature.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. That massive storm moving across the country is still a threat this morning. There's a tornado watch for portions of Florida and Georgia, and snow is heading to the northeast, ice in the mid-Atlantic. Yesterday, the storm system spawned several tornadoes in Louisiana. We start in St. Charles Parish. All along this street, homes and trees were destroyed. Cars were tossed around as though they were toys. Pictures from inside the homes also showed the devastation. Insulation hanging from the ceiling, debris in virtually every room. In Farmerville, the police chief says nearly 25 people were injured, some critically, after a tornado leveled a neighborhood. A boy who lives in another community explains what happened when the storm arrived.
So, when I thought it was an explosion, and then my mama told me to get down.
He was in the town of Gretna. This is what it looked like overnight. Trees and debris littering the road, many homes either damaged or destroyed. The mayor says they have a lot of work ahead of them cleaning up.
We've seen catastrophic destruction from both ends of the city, starting from the municipality right next to us, Jefferson Parish, all the way over to Orleans through the entire, one strip through the entire city.
Given the widespread nature of the storms, it's remarkable more people weren't seriously injured or killed. Now take a look at this. In New Orleans, a local TV station caught a large tornado on the ground in the lower 9th Ward. It's the second time this year that a tornado touched down there. It also happened back in March. It's also the same place which was virtually destroyed by Hurricane Katrina. And this might be another view of that tornado. It was the video was captured yesterday right next to the city in Arabi. The swirling winds were shown kicking up debris and causing sparks as it took down power lines. And the National Weather Desk's storm chaser Brett Adair is tracking the storms as they move through Mississippi. He flew his drone over Clark County along the Alabama border, and as you can see, tornadoes there caused significant damage to homes and businesses. They also leveled the forest in some places. In another part of the county, Brett captured this wall cloud. He tells us it's not far from where he saw all that damage. At least 3 people in Mississippi were injured in that storm. And now let's move to the northern plains where the snow is finally coming to an end, but not before dropping feet in some places. We start in Duluth, Minnesota, where the snow is expected to continue through tomorrow, and they're certainly used to the cold and snow there. But even yesterday, folks had to dig cars out of the snow and push them out onto the roads. Some of those roads were treacherous. The pavement was covered in ice and snow. Up to 14 inches could accumulate.
You can lose control, so you really got to be careful out here in the slush.
In Alaska, Anchorage was pummeled by a series of unprecedented snowstorms. Up to 3 feet fell in less than a week. Even in Alaska, that made travel very difficult. The city had to adjust its snowplow plan so it could give more streets a first pass, allowing residents to get out. And that massive storm system isn't done yet. There are still severe weather threats for today. Meteorologist Ryan Coulter from our station in Asheville, North Carolina, is tracking the storm's impact on their area.
A powerful storm system continues to trek across the country today, bringing heavy rain and a threat for severe weather across parts of the South, Georgia and Florida under the gun for a chance of severe weather today. The severe weather outlook showing the bullseye for severe weather in that yellow zone. That's an elevated risk for severe weather extending across the midsection of Florida. As we look at those greatest risks for severe weather, flooding along with lots of lightning. We could see an isolated spin-up tornado as well as some strong strong, damaging wind gusts. Let's play it out on Futurecast. By this afternoon, the greatest risk for severe weather moving into the Orlando area, and then that threat will shift further to the south as we head through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening time. That storm system eventually clearing on out, giving way to quieter weather for Friday.
And in the Northeast, snow is coming. Winter storm warnings have been posted from northern Pennsylvania all the way up into New England, with less serious winter weather advisories issued for parts of the Susquehanna Valley of Pennsylvania down into northern Maryland. They were dropped a little early for D.C. And inside West Virginia, ice storm warnings where the impact from freezing rain will be much more significant. Not just treacherous travel, but tree limbs could come down, causing power outages. Now, speaking of D.C., portions of the region are experiencing some of that ice this morning. John Gonzalez of WJLA shows us conditions he's experiencing this morning.
I'm John Gonzalez in Montgomery County, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C., where there have been ice warnings and a couple of accidents because of it, but this has mainly been a rain event, and heavy rain at times that has been mixed in with some sleet and freezing rain. Schools have been delayed here in the area as temperatures continue to drop. We are right at or below freezing in this region. Officials here in the Northeast asking folks to delay travel a bit this morning. In Montgomery County, John Gonzalez for the National Weather Desk.
Now to Utah, where a skier is injured after being rescued from an avalanche. It took crews hours to free the man after he was buried in snow. And this happened in Neff's Canyon, just east of Salt Lake City. Lincoln Graves has details.
This is the trail that skier was eventually brought down. He was brought down in a toboggan being towed by rescuers. We don't know his exact condition, but we did learn a little bit about the man who was with him for most of the day. That man is being called a hero for what he did to help him. This is the moment in video from Unified Police where a backcountry skier was brought to safety after being caught in an avalanche in Neff's Canyon. We're told he had a broken femur and an arm injury in the initial accident.
With his injuries and the cold, hypothermia has definitely been an issue.
Rescuers say it was incredibly difficult to reach the man, let alone pull him to safety.
We were really worried about getting up to where this patient was, causing another slide.
Multiple rescue attempts failed. At first, a chopper couldn't fly due to weather. Once it could, it made multiple trips back and forth from this church parking lot. In the last attempt, the hoist rope wasn't long enough.
We're just like, we're just going to put him in a bag and start dragging him. We started lowering him with some ropes.
The man was found by an off-duty firefighter with Unified Fire, who stayed with him all day and gave him some of his warm clothes. This is the moment that firefighter came skiing down himself, then hugging loved ones who were worried about his safety.
I mean, guy's a hero. It's incredible.
Unified Fire should be proud. They have themselves an amazing firefighter there, a great human being that was willing to put so much at risk for another human being.
Utah has seen a lot of snow early this season. They call it the greatest snow on Earth. Meteorologist Kristen McKeek shows us why.
I'm Kristen McPeak, and we're just south of Salt Lake City in Big Cottonwood Canyon. We have gotten so much snow. Take a look at some of this snow. This is the perfect powdery snow for our skiers and snowboarders. We've gotten 10 to 30 inches here in the area, depending on where you look.
And we've seen a lot of tornadoes today that have caused severe damage, but check out this much less threatening waterspout. It was captured yesterday at Panama City Beach in Florida. This waterspout is pretty wide, and although it looks like it's spinning rather slowly, do not be fooled. Wind speeds in a waterspout can reach up to 50 miles per hour and cause some damage if they reach the shoreline. We often get asked if waterspouts are the same thing as tornadoes, and the answer is yes, if it was formed by a severe thunderstorm. A tornadic waterspout is a tornado that forms over water, or it's a tornado that has moved from land over a body of water.